Hey everyone, this is Pete. Welcome back to Atari A to Z, a series of short playthroughs of Atari 8-bit games, some of which I grew up with and some of which are new to me. Today is one of the latter. This is O'Reilly's Mine, a game by Datasoft, and a chap called Mark Riley, who apparently almost named the protagonist of the game after him. This is quite a simple sort of digging arcade game. Let's just jump right in and I'll show you how it works. So you are O'Reilly, the intrepid miner, and it is your job to retrieve all the buried treasures. So each one of these icons here is a different kind of buried treasure of some description. And you move over it to collect it. However, while you are moving around, you'll notice that there is a block of dynamite goes off at the start of the level, which causes the water to start rushing down the tunnel behind you, and also gradually moving up the shaft at the beginning. And there are also monsters. So the water you just have to deal with by sort of laying as roundabout and meandering a path as possible for it. The monsters you can deal with in a few ways. You can lay a stick of dynamite like that, which will destroy a square of your tunnel. Oh, excuse me. And you can actually destroy the monsters altogether with that if you catch them in the explosion. That's obviously quite difficult to do, though. And your aim in each level is simply to collect all the treasures and make it back to the mine at the top of the screen. As is probably already apparent, though, it is possible to trap yourself. And there are also other considerations as well. You can probably see the moon rising in the background there. While the moon is rising, the monsters move more quickly. And so when that's the case, you need to make sure that they're well away from you. There we are, $100,000. That gives us an extra life. And you see, as the game progresses, they get significantly faster. A nice chunk of dynamite to block their path will be very helpful. And you also see there's a few sort of power-ups around the place as well. So that was a double points power-up I just picked up. That means that the next thing I pick up will give me twice the number of points. Oh, I've messed it up. There we are. Okay, so the other thing is that while the moon is coming up like that, one of the treasures will turn into a skull and crossbones as well, which will kill you on contact, as you might expect from such things. However, that is still a treasure that you need to collect in order to clear the level. Oh no. And as you can see, the water is probably the most significant hazard here. Oh! He says, getting eaten by a monster. And the monsters you can deal with relatively easily as long as you respond quickly enough to noticing them coming for you. But, yeah, the water you kind of have to not do that. Plan ahead a little bit. Alright, let's have one more go at that. I'll pop my name in first. The music in this is a very good example of what I think of as sort of the early Atari 8-bit sound. So before a lot of the well-known musical maestros on the platform like Rob Hubbard and Adam Gilmour got to grips with how the Poké Chip produced sound and how to make it really sing, a lot of games sounded like this. That said, the actual sound effects in this are pretty good. So the sound of the water rushing is sort of not overpowering, which it could easily be. And it makes for quite an atmospheric sound. It's a good use of the Atari's 4 sound channels, so that you can hear yourself digging. You can hear the water rushing in the background, and the sound of you picking things up. And none of those sound effects are interfering with each other. So I never played this game back in the day. I played a few other things by Datasoft. If you've been watching this series since the beginning, you've probably seen Bruce Lee. That was a Datasoft game. But yeah, this is not one I'd actually heard of before. It just caught my eye in the library as I was looking for a game beginning with O. So I thought, why not check it out? And this is a kind of game we don't see a lot of these days anymore either. Sort of games involving digging things. So this isn't quite the same sort of thing as something like Dig Dug or Boulder Dash or something like that though. But it's still heavily based around the idea of sort of digging a pathway for things, planning your route in advance and that kind of thing. So probably the most sort of modern twist on this sort of thing are puzzle games like that, oh, what was it called? Desktop Dungeons. I mean, obviously that's not quite exactly the same thing, but it's got the same kind of gameplay emphasis. So planning your route out in advance, finding ways to get where you're going without blocking your pathway off like I've just done. Oh no. Oh well, we can get some points in the meantime. Before waiting for our inevitable watery demise. Excuse me. This is a fun game. It's simple, and it's sort of ramping the difficulty up nice and gradually without becoming overwhelming too quickly. It's got some interesting mechanics. Right, the way it sort of determines how the water is going to flow based on, I think, the highest point that you've dug out. So it's kind of in your interest to not go for the higher pieces of treasure until you absolutely have to. And if you can, to try and make the water branch off in different directions as well, because I think that affects the flow rate of it as well in the middle. I also like how the default high score in this game appears to be unbeatable. Because they've just set it to like 999999. Which looks like it might be the maximum possible score. So that's generous of them. Uh-oh. Yeah, I've messed that up, haven't I? Yes, I'm not entirely sure how you'd go about beating that. Or indeed if it's possible. Triple points, eh? Oh, extra life as well. Thank you very much. And it seems the further we're going in this game, the more valuable the different items are. I'm not sure if that's just that triple points being persistent. I thought it was just the next thing you picked up, but it might well be that it just sticks. Or perhaps you do just simply get more points the higher level you're on. Alright, level 9. Doing very well. and I was having a quick practice at this before I started recording. The furthest I could get was level 4, so I've made a definite rapid improvement. No, leave me alone. Can we make it to 750,000? That would be a nice target. Level 10. Let's see how we do. Oh, there's 700,000. $720. No! Oh, you bastard. Anyway, that is O'Reilly's Mine. That's fun. I'm glad I checked that out. Like I say, not one I played back in the day, but one that's a bit of fun. So if you're looking for something a little bit different from your usual sort of dirt and boulders games, then yeah, give it a look. Just don't expect to ever beat that high score, because I don't think it's physically possible. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please help out the channel by leaving a like or a comment and subscribing. New episodes of Atari A to Z are on Tuesdays and Atari ST A to Z on Thursdays. Check out atariatoz.wordpress.com for a full archive. Do please also check out my other projects moegamer.net, where I explore Japanese and Japanese-inspired games from yesterday and today, and videopackgames.wordpress.com, which aims to catalogue a small but well-formed library of the Philips G7000 Videopack computer, also known as the Magnavox Odyssey 2. You can also support my work on Patreon or buy me a coffee. You can find links to do both down in the video description. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.